Welcome yet again to another battle report from the Tabletop Gamers. This battle features Lylyth versus Terminus, 25 points using the plate shift scenario found at our blog. You can find a link to that scenario in the description for this video. So we start with Crix. Well, they won the roll and they decided Legion would set up first. So Sean sets up his Grotesques unit of 10, the Rake behind the building there, 3 Shredders, Lylyth, the Carnivian, and this Sorceress on the Hellion. And I set up for Crix a total of 5 Scrap Thralls across the table, a Corruptor, Slayer with a Necrotech behind them, a full unit of Revenant crew, a Terminus, a Death Ripper, and a Necrotech behind him. And then after setup, in addition, we have these little black markers on the table, and they represent geological hotspots on the battlefield that we're going to have to watch out for during the game. So now that you see where some of those are, we'll begin. So Legion's first turn is pretty straightforward. Most everything runs except for Lylyth, who makes an advance and spams Tenacity across herself, the Carnivian, 2 of the Shredders, and the Rake. Likewise for Crix, most everybody runs over on that side except for Terminus, who makes an advance and casts Malediction. In addition, nothing happens to any of the geological hotspots that turn. Then this Sorceress kicks off Legion turn 2 by making a ride-by attack and firing at a Scrap Thrall, which blows him up, and then she moves back. Lylyth makes an advance and makes a ranged attack at the Revenant crew, ends up killing 1, and then fires an attack at the Corruptor, who was a boosted attack, but he rolled 3 ones. And disgusted with that, he decided to just cast Tenacity on Lylyth. Carnivian charged the Revenant crew and uses Assault Spray to kill two of them. The Shredders all made a full advance. One used Tenacity on the Rake, and the other one used Tenacity on the Carnivian. The Rake then made a full advance and did a leap, and the Grotesques ran to the hill. Terminus upkept Malediction for Crix turn 2. Corruptor then made a full advance and shot a boosted attack at the Shredder, which apparently missed. The Slayer then charged the Carnivian, boosted his damage, and with all attacks totaled at about 22 damage. The Revenant crew made a full advance and shot at the Grotesque, killing 1 of them. The Death Ripper then charged the Grotesques and killed 1. The Necrotechs both ran, and the Scraps made a full advance, and Terminus then made a full advance. Lylyth starts with Legion's turn 3, makes a ranged attack at the Corruptor using Bushwhack, does 7 damage to it, decides to cast Parasite on the Corruptor, and then advances away. Shredders, 2 of them then go Rabid and charge the Corruptor, doing a total of about 13 damage. Another Shredder in the back by Lylyth advances up towards her and casts Tenacity on Lylyth. The Sorceress then makes a full advance and makes a spray attack at one of the Scrap Thralls. Scrap Thrall blows up, and in normal fashion, boxcars are rolled for damage on the Corruptor. The Carnivian, with some boosted attack rolls, ends up doing about 6 damage to the Slayer. The Rake then makes a full advance into the Revenant crew and kills 2 of them. And the Grotesques attack the Death Ripper, the Revenant crew, and the Necrotech. They end up dealing 4 damage to the Necrotech and killing 1 of the Revenant crew. Terminus upkeeps Malediction for turn 3 for Crix and decides to start the turn. Terminus pops his feet and then charges the Rake and kills it. And of course, Lylyth reaves the 3 Fury that was on it. Slayer then boosts some damage for melee against the Carnivian and boxes him. The Corruptor attacks or attempts to attack one of the Shredders and does nothing. Necrotech behind him makes a full advance, getting ready to repair the Corruptor. Scrap Thrall comes in from the side to attack the Shredders and blows up, does nothing to nobody. Necrotech on the other side of the field ends up killing off a Grotesque. Likewise, Revenant crew managed to kill off one of the Grotesques as well, and so does a Death Ripper. And then the Scrap Thralls on the far side of the field charge in and blow up, killing 3 Grotesques. So for Legion turn 4, both the Shredders on the Corruptor frenzy. The first one boxes the Corruptor, and the second one, when it frenzied, attacked the Necrotech for 3 damage. The Sorceress then makes an advance and sprays the Slayer for about 3 damage. Lylyth goes, pops her feet, makes a range attack at Terminus, hits him, and then makes a range attack at the Revenant crew, killing off the Quartermaster. She then makes full advance because of Bushwhack, and casts Eruption of Spines at Terminus, and it ends up killing 2 of the Revenant crew. Shredder makes a full advance next to her, casts Tenacity at Lylyth, and the Grotesque continue their attacks against the Death Ripper. Terminus up keeps Malediction again for Crick's turn 4, and the Death Ripper starts with some boosted attack rolls to finish off the Grotesques. The Necrotech over on the left side of the battlefield there in the picture, and manages to do 9 damage to the Shredder in melee. Slayer then charges the Sorceress, misses with the charge attack, then hits hard with the other attack, dealing 11 damage, just knocking her off the field. Terminus then makes a full advance, takes a spray shot into Lylyth and misses, and then casts Hellfire into Lylyth and misses. The Revenant crew run and end up engaging the Shredder there over on the left side of the battlefield, and the Necrotech over on the other side makes a full advance and does 1 repair damage onto the Death Ripper. Shredder kicks off Legion turn 5 by attacking the Necrotech, but it's a miss. Lylyth then casts Eruption of Spines, and it misses, so she then takes a ranged attack at Terminus. It hits, but then he sacrifices one of the Revenant crew. She then makes a ranged attack at the Revenant crew member in melee with the Shredder, misses him, and ends up hitting the Shredder for 7 damage. That Shredder ends up going rabid and attacking the Revenant crew, killing him. And then the Shredder next to Lylyth goes rabid and charges the Slayer. Terminus up keeps Malediction, and the Necrotech starts turn 5 for Crix. He tries to swing at the Shredder and likewise misses. The Revenant crew end up charging the Shredder and does enough damage to finish it off. The Necrotech over on the other side of the battlefield repairs 5 damage on the Death Ripper. Death Ripper then runs into position to join the rest of the group. And then Terminus charges the remaining Shredder, ends up getting a critical pitch on him, and ends up throwing him at Lylyth for about 4 damage. And then Terminus finishes Lylyth off with a Hellfire spell, and Crix wins the game. So we choose our MVPs for the battle. I chose Terminus for just all in all, dominating the field, and Sean chose the Shredder, which specifically the Shredder that was thrown by Terminus to finish off Lylyth. He felt that his army was really lackluster this battle, and the only one to do any significant damage was the one that ended up being thrown. So thoughts on the battle itself. It was overall pretty decent, but the scenario was very lackluster. It seemed like none of the hot spots were in positions that we were fighting over, so that even if they did go off, they weren't doing anything to anyone. They were of no consequence, which is why I didn't really report about it in the battle during the video here. And there were only a couple times that the hotspots were in position to cause anything, and they didn't go off. So, had we rolled differently and set up differently, maybe that would be different. Who knows? We'll give the scenario another try here later on. And that concludes our battle report for this time. Be sure to check out our blog, TableTopGamers.blogspot.com. And if you like the video, make sure to put a like or add a comment or whatever. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We thank all of our subscribers. We're very happy for the ones we have and hope to see more in the future. And speaking of the future, we're going to have some new scenarios at the blog and obviously more battle reports coming your way, so stay tuned.